we were the first international human rights organization to protest the murders and hate crimes committed against farmers in South Africa way back in 2000. Most of the human rights groups wouldn't touch the subject because it was just not politically correct. You know, they were all anti-apartheid during apartheid, and so was I, by the way. I worked with the United Democratic Front. In fact, worked with Vasil Slavers and others on the new constitution for South Africa. I'm a constitutional lawyer as well as a human rights lawyer. And you have one of the world's best constitutions here. One that was very carefully thought about. And in fact, one of the things that I'm really happy about is that 11 languages are actually recognized as official languages in South Africa. I mean, including Afrikaans. So anybody who tells you that they're going to close down the University of Puff, you know, the Afrikaans University, right nearby here, is actually committing, in my view, an unconstitutional act. People who speak Afrikaans have a right to have a university, or many universities. In fact, anyone who wants to speak any language, actually, has a right to have their own schools, universities, and institutions. It's one of the reasons in our country, in the United States, the Supreme Court has actually struck down attempts by some states to establish official languages. The state of Texas tried to make English an official language, when it has, of course, a Hispanic population of probably 25%. I mean, that was a really systematic form of discrimination. And so the Supreme Court struck it down. They said there are no official languages in the United States. I come from the state, Wisconsin, which at one point had actually a majority of German speakers. And yet, you know, this country of ours, with all of its diversity, has thrived because of the diversity. And it has never tried to stamp out the diversity of any group, the special cultural contribution of each group to the country's wealth of civilizations. Because this is a country of many civilizations, many cultures, just like South Africa. The parallels, in fact, between the history of South Africa and our own country's history are really quite remarkable. And I really feel very much at home here in South Africa. For one thing, I love the friendliness of South Africans. I feel, quite frankly, much more at home here in South Africa than I do in England. I'm afraid the English are just a bit, well, let us say, God's frozen people. Whereas I think South Africans are far warmer and a lot more like Americans, a lot more like Australians. It's just a, I don't know, a different way of relating to each other.